Coming up tonight on YCN News, while Republican Scott Brown is now officially a candidate for U.S. Senate, one of his competitors wastes no time in welcoming a contested race. Arrests were made this morning of current and former employees of J&J Auto Body in the Cheshire town of Troy, New Hampshire. And the Upper Valley Aquatic Center talks about spring break activities for kids. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now that Republican Scott Brown is officially a candidate for U.S. Senate, one of his competitors is wasting no time in welcoming a contested race. Brown will challenge Democrat and U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen in the congressional midterm elections this November. Brown joins Republicans Jim Rubens, Bob Smith, and Karen Testerman in the fight for Shaheen's seat in Washington. First, one of these four Republicans must win the September 9th primary. Former State Senator Rubens says his campaign is the one to unite the New Hampshire's Republican Party. Rubens says he is confident voters will support his candidacy in September and then on Election Day, November 4th. In a statement, Rubens sees himself as in step with New Hampshire's voters' concerns compared to Brown, whom he describes as being Washington's pick. And, says Rubens, as a local and longtime New Hampshire resident, he is more in tune with issues where he says Shaheen has taken stands contrary to voters' interests. These issues include gun ownership and Second Amendment rights, plus Obamacare, in Rubens' words. Vermont residents will join New Hampshire voters in electing new candidates for statewide office. As the state's Republican Party eyes regaining control of the governor's office, one challenger has stepped forward. Emily Payton described herself as an organic politician. She supports health care reform different from current Governor Peter Shumlin's goal of single-payer health insurance. Creating a state public bank also would benefit Vermonters, says Payton. YCN's Dan Carbonera sat down with Payton in the first of two interviews.
Thanks, Rose. I'm here with Emily Payton, who's running for governor of the great state of Vermont. Emily, welcome to our studios today.
Thank you, Daniel, for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your position on single-payer healthcare.
Well, our healthcare system right now, whether we're using Obamacare or proposing for single-payer, is too expensive. It's way too expensive for our state, and Peter Shumlin won't be able to do it. And I think that the problem is that healthcare, as we've been doing it, has been, the art of healing has been constricted by what I call the businessification of health. Not to mention the profit motive, but we have doctors who aren't able to heal because they're constricted how much time they've got to do defensive medicine. So what I'm proposing is that we initiate an open clinic system. And interestingly, we spent $83 million on our website, $84 million. If we had used that amount for open clinics, we could have placed one in every single township, 255 of them, and staffed them with a nurse practitioner and a general practitioner at $89,000 and $149,000 apiece, and still given them a monthly budget of $7,000.
Well, that brings me to my next question. How do you view taxation in the state? Do you have any proposals there?
I have some very specific ones. We have the science in that we need to become a zero-waste society. And there's a couple of forms of taxation that I think we should pull back from immediately. Eventually, I think with the appropriate monetary policy, we don't have to have the kind of taxation we have now. But for starters, we should not be taxing Vermont products to encourage more people to buy Vermont products. We also should have a proposal for households that are willing to go zero waste In other words, they have all renewable. They're not. They're putting a completely light footprint on the planet. They should be removed from property tax liability. And in the meantime, if they are willing to move that, in other words, putting solar or geothermal or building with hempcrete or what have you, that if they're going that way, the value of their property tax payment ought to be able to be utilized to becoming energy independent and a zero waste household. It's imperative that we move in that direction as quickly as possible.
How do you see funding for education and set up for the schools?
I see that our educative system is a form of indoctrination that I'd like to see loosen up. I see our best and brightest students are coming out of the homeschooling network. I see many students that are marginalized and also medicated improperly. I see teachers who are limited and hampered by testing and they aren't able to teach their strengths. I see that the arts are not being used at the beginning years, like music is not being used to impart the different tables so that the children have a strong grasp of the intellectual tools that will help them take their own journey. So our funding of that, a couple of things that we need to do. We need to do exchange tuition for service. In other words, for our open clinic system, which I didn't get into all the details, but we would eventually be educating our doctors and nurses in exchange for service. We need to do a lot more of that so we reduce the burden of debt. We shouldn't be giving any of our next generations this kind of burden of debt.
To learn more about Emily Payton's campaign platforms, go online to emilypayton.org. Arrests were made this morning of current and former employees of J&J Auto Body in the Cheshire town in Troy, New Hampshire. The four are charged by police with arson, conspiracy to commit arson, insurance fraud, and accomplice to insurance fraud. Two people arrested are the owners of the auto body shop, 49-year-old Jay Coppo of Troy and 44-year-old Jody Coppo Champney of Winchester, New Hampshire. Current employee, 32-year-old Christopher Pratt of Gilsum, New Hampshire, and former employee, 31-year-old Craig Fields of Swansea, New Hampshire, also were arrested shortly after 8 a.m. today. The arrests of the four follow a 2-year investigation into the intentional burning of a commercial wrecker. Police say in a press release that the wrecker was torched in January 2012 to collect the money insuring the vehicle's value. Coppo, Champney, Pratt, and Fields are free on $25,000 bail. They are scheduled to be arraigned in Keene District Court on June 4th.
The good folks at H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils want you to know that their philosophy is simple. Wow 'em with our service. Fuel delivery when you need it and how you want it. Prepay or a 10-month budget plan puts you in control and provides automatic delivery. Or just call when you're at a quarter of a tank. Pay cash and get an additional 10 cents per gallon off.
Wow 'em with service. It's the H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils way of doing business.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. It's time to play with your food. Yes, you heard that right. Be as creative as possible. The catch, the main ingredients are marshmallow peeps. For the third year, the Library Arts Center of Newport invites Sullivan County area residents to enter the Peeps Diorama Contest. Submissions may be dropped off at the Arts Center's gallery at 58 North Main Street in Newport. The deadline to enter is 4 p.m. on Thursday, April 17th. Library Arts Center Director Kate Niboli speaks about the contest.
All right, well, Peeps Mania has definitely hit the Library Arts Center once again this year. We are ramping up for our third annual Peeps Diorama Challenge. Let me tell you, it is fun. We have had entries starting to come in. We've had a lot of excitement, people calling to let us know what they're working on, wonderful themes. We are expecting lots and lots of peeps in. They're due next Thursday, the 17th. Then we have our Peeps Party on Friday night, the 18th, from 5 to 7 p.m. which includes a Peeps s'more roast in the parking lot, Peeps themed hors d'oeuvres, the Peeps Awards, People's Choice Awards, and all the Peeps dioramas on display. So then the show will go through the 26th, so everyone should come on in and see what's created. But it's not too late to make something. If people want to get out an old shoebox this weekend, stop by the grocery store and pick up some of those iconic bunnies and chicks in marshmallow and many colors. You can have a lot of fun. It's incredible to see what people come up with.
To learn more about the contest plus gallery exhibits and classes for children and adults, call 603-863-3040 or go online to www.libraryartscenter.org. Spring vacation might seem like the perfect time to head south and hit the beach, but if you're planning on staying in the Upper Valley during the break, there's still a way for the kids to enjoy a good swim. The Upper Valley Aquatics Center in White River Junction, Vermont is offering a spring vacation half-day camp for kids ages 6 to 10. Let's hear more from Executive Director Rich Sinnott.
We've got a lot of fantastic things going on during school vacation. Of course, we've got the water features and the indoor lazy river, a heated pool. We also have our competition pool, so obviously it's a wonderful place just to bring kids for the day. But we also have a vacation camp that's going on. There's a half and a full day option, and the camp includes a lunch, a lot of activities such as visits from VINS, the puppetry, arts and crafts, as well as a free swim lesson. So it's a great thing for the kids to do if you're looking for something on your school vacation. UVAC is a great resource for the community, and a lot of people don't know that you can come over as a non-member, as a guest for the day. We have day passes for adults and children, special discounted rates for Hartford citizens and also seniors. One of the other options, if people want to join the facility with their kids, is obviously to join the swim team. We have an unbelievable set of coaches. We have a number of people on the team who actually could become Olympic hopefuls at some point. And we've actually had a couple of them go out to Colorado Springs in California in some of the Olympic training centers. So it's pretty exciting. But you can start right from scratch pretty much as long as the kids can swim. They can try out for the team, and we have young ones as young as 6, 7 years old. The easiest way to sign up for any of the classes, or if anybody has any information, there's two ways. One would be to go to our website, www.uvac-swim.org, and it'll have all the information there. Or you could obviously call us at 800-296-2850.
The Upper Valley Aquatics Center has incredible swimming opportunities, but they also have a fitness center where you can exercise out of the pool with weights, classes, and more. So if you're looking for a place to get in shape and entertain the kids, be sure to check it out. On a different note, this story goes out to the Kearsarge Regional School District and Kearsarge community. Former Superintendent Dr. Thomas John Brennan Jr. died Wednesday morning. In a tribute on the school's website, current Superintendent Jerry Frew notes Dr. Brennan's accomplishments on behalf of the district. Brennan served the district from 2000 to 2008. One of Dr. Brennan's proudest achievements, Frew notes, was implementing a kindergarten program in the Kearsarge Regional School District. Fostering voter support for a new middle school is another legacy Dr. Brennan left the district. 7 schools across all grades comprise the district. The goals he set for the school community continue to be reached. Dr. Brennan's career as an educator and leader took him to many districts, including his last appointment as superintendent of the Manchester, New Hampshire School District. He retired in 2013 from that district. Superintendent Frew asks that Dr. Brennan's memory be honored. Services for Dr. Brennan are as follows. Calling hours will be held at Chadwick's Funeral Home at 235 Main Street in New London on Monday from 3 to 8 p.m. The funeral mass is set for 11 a.m. Tuesday at Our Lady of Fatima at 724 Main Street, New London. A military burial ceremony is scheduled for 11 a.m. on Wednesday at the New Hampshire State Veterans Cemetery in Boscawen.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design, through the commercial print process, and ending with custom mailing. all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local college sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow is the perfect time to get outside and enjoy spring. We'll have sunny skies with a high of 67 degrees and lows in the 30s. Sunday will be cloudy with highs in the upper 60s and a low of 51 degrees. Monday temperatures will rise to bring a high of 78 degrees and lows in the mid-50s. Tuesday will cool off with some rain. Highs will be in the upper 50s and lows will stay around 30 degrees. Wednesday, the rain will continue and temperatures will drop to the mid-40s with lows in the 20s. Here's a glimpse of the weather from our northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow morning, Enfield, New Hampshire will hold a farmers market at 10 a.m. at the community building. In Vermont, the Tupelo Music Hall in White River Junction will host performances by the David Bromberg Quartet and the Shannastack Band at 7 p.m. Saturday night. In Allstead, New Hampshire, the Molehill Theater will have classic rock from Steel Rail with PHR at 8 p.m. tomorrow. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Now in college sports, there are several games to look out for this Saturday. First up, there's a UNH women's lacrosse game happening, where we will see the Wildcats face Binghamton at the University of New Hampshire at noon. Also in women's lacrosse, Dartmouth College will face off with Penn State at noon in the Dartmouth College Field. Colby Sawyer College will travel to the Southern University of New York in Canton, New York, for a women's lacrosse game at noon. In Vermont college sports, UVM will play 2 lacrosse games on Saturday. The women's lacrosse team is set to battle UMBC at 11 a.m. The team will travel to UMBC for this anticipated game. The men's lacrosse team will stay at home and face Binghamton at 1:30 p.m. In Fisher Cats news, they lost yesterday to Binghamton in their first home game. They lost the game 1-9. The Fisher Cats are hopefully ready for tomorrow's game against Binghamton, starting at 6:35 p.m.